Kidding.
I'm doing very well, Jen. Is it just going to be me and you, or Eli and Zach going to pop
Start?
in?
Yeah, they'll talk every once in a while, but
Every now and then we'll try to
he was
do that.
already
happened.
right away.
It kind of, well, we're used to you attacking us, so.
Yeah. that is-
Sorry.
Look at Hello?
Let's just put it this way. Who do you see as the quarterback week 1 for the Green Bay Packers?
I see.
Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Open Book here on Game On Wisconsin.
I'm
How
just
y'all
laughing
doing?
because, like, the intro's still running on my end. I can just hear Zach. Hello.
Yeah, Zach was talking in the middle of the intro, extremely rude.
Yeah, he
But
must not
that's
have
just-
automatically muted. So he was just...
Everything's super slow. I don't know when the intro played. I can't see you guys.
See,
like everything
Zach,
is
that's what happens when you make fun of my hotspot a couple weeks ago. Now you're hotspotting, and look
That's
what
true.
happens.
that's true. This is karma.
It's all karma. It's all karma. But all right, right off the bat, fire Joe Barry. I'm going to say that's a little bit of an overreaction, but realistically, unfortunately, I will not be able to stick around for the whole show. But real quick,
You have like
I
a
haven't seen
fancy
either-
earpiece on.
I've just had my headphones. No, but how are you guys doing? I haven't seen you in a couple weeks. Real quick, what's going on, Jen?
Well, obviously looking forward to having to break down that game again. So, no, it could be better, but I feel like it could be worse because at least the entire NFC North went 0-1. So
Yeah.
I didn't get ridiculed too much at work, but yeah, still just a gut-wrenching feeling after that game, but just trying to remain positive and hope for the best out of the next game.
Yeah, Zach, how about you? I would imagine probably pretty similar feelings as Jen after that game.
Honestly, like that game was nowhere near close to the levels of agitation I feel right now trying to get my internet to work.
Yeah, for
They're
those who don't know, Zach, he's hot spotting, so he might freeze, he might talk when the subject has already passed. We don't know, so I don't think he can see us. I think he's
Yeah.
just
I
talking
can't.
to a blank screen.
Literally, yeah, you guys are two black boxes. That's pretty much it. I can hear you fine, so at least like I have that going for me. Like the audio portion is fine, but
So there's a good chance that at some point it's just me. I'm very
I would
sorry, but
say-
the show will
yeah.
end if I'm the only one on screen.
I would say it's probably guaranteed you're going to end up being alone on screen at some
I know.
point.
I'm gonna force Andrew to come in from backstage and
Yeah,
just
that might be a
be
good
here with
idea.
me, so I'm not alone.
But yeah, real quick, I'm just gonna. I mean, worse than Jen in the Dark. That was actually a good episode. But yeah, I mean, as I said,
At least I was there.
Twitter,
Where
that,
I did my best. Zach's doing
Yeah.
his best. Eli's doing his best.
but yeah, that game, it was just, it's hard to describe, honestly. I'm trying to just be numb to it, but at the same time, you kind of can't be, and it is what it is. They got their ass kicked. There's no other way to put it. And the only positive spin I could look at it is they got their wake up call week 1. They're not gonna get it later in the season with a playoff spot on the line. Excuse me. Right now, they know right off the bat they came into this season very confident, clearly a bit too confident. They got knocked down a couple pegs, as they say, and they know they need to lock it up and get it together for next week, because the Lions, I mean, they put up, I think, 33 points, nearly pulled off an amazing comeback versus the 49ers, who are a good team as well. So, the Lions isn't any kind of automatic anything. They need to come out strong, in my opinion, start with the run game, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. That's the best way to then get the offense going, get Aaron Rodgers going, Devontae, Tunyon. Hopefully we got to see more Randall Cobb in week 2. But yeah, bottom line is week 1, you couldn't really imagine a worse way to start the season, but that's where we are. There's 16 more games. This is still a very good football team. I'm very, very confident that they're still going to be a Super Bowl contender and one of the top seeds in the NFC. And I hate to do this, but I really do have to go.
I had a
I
feeling
wish-
that's what you were leading into.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
doing his whole 45-minute
Yeah,
recap
Mhm.
in 2 minutes. It was a 2-minute drill from Eli here on Open Book.
Yeah,
Impressive.
sorry. I know. Usually I last a lot longer. Okay, that's it. It's my last only joke.
All right. All
Okay,
right.
but I know.
Yikes, yeah. Making
had
that
to
joke
get-
when you're in an office setting. Come on, Eli.
Yeah. Come on. Be
Let's-
better. I'm reporting you to HR.
No, please don't. Because honestly, I
No,
shouldn't
please
even.
don't.
I shouldn't even be doing this. So let's not even make mention of this. And I wish I was joking. But you two have a good show. Zach, I hope your hotspot works. Jen, if you end up alone,
Pause.
don't end the show. Just relax and I don't know, talk about Jordy behind you and the map and not about the game so much or you'll get sad. But I am hoping very much that over the next week or two, I'm going to have my schedule figured out and we'll get back to regular. But without me, you're still in great hands, obviously, with Zach and Jen. Last week was a great show, and I'm sure today will be a great show. But I got to go. Go, Pack, go. Week 2 is going to be a lot better, guaranteed.
All right. Bye, Eli.
Bye. Sorry. I
See
don't know how to
what's weird.
leave. But I'm afraid if I hit end, it's going to end the whole thing.
Just have Andrew remove Eli. Thank you. Zach, you're muted. I can't even hear you.
Oh, how about now?
There you go. All right, yeah, this is gonna be a good show.
Those last couple minutes while he was talking, the intro for our show came up on my screen. So
Stop, are you serious?
I swear to God, like now I can't even see myself. Now I can't see anything. So I don't know what the hell is happening.
Oh my gosh.
Apparently
So in about 20 minutes, you're gonna start answering Eli's question to how you're doing, and
yeah, like I'm running on like America Online right now.
so you can't see the questions popping up. So I'm gonna have to read when
there is no question. There are zero questions.
So Lamba LeBeau, what's up with Eli's work schedule? He's just really busy. Tuesdays are gonna be a tough day for him. We might be in the works of switching days again. I don't know. We'll see. So we're just going to be all over the place. And whenever you get a chance to watch us, just do your best to. Please do so.
Yeah, we're riding out this, as I told Jen earlier, I mean, we're kind of like all in like a little state of limbo right now. And we're just kind of riding out the wave while Eli settles into this big life-changing job. So, the least we could do is be flexible because the three of us are a team and the rest of us here at Open Book, we are all a family. So
yep,
it is what it is. If we have to move around a little bit,
no Booker left behind.
Absolutely not. Well, in regards to my internet, apparently there is a massive Spectrum outage right now. So it literally happened right as we were about to go live, I discovered. So in case I do have to drop out, Jen, can you still hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, all right, thank God. In case I do have to drop out, then we're going to need Andrew to come in and fill the void and talk about the Packers and how bad they are right now with you. So.
Oh, fantastic. So you might just drop out just because, you don't want to have to talk about like, oh, my internet, sorry, gotta go.
Yeah, sorry, I don't want to talk about the 38-3 loss. I'm going to hop on out of here. I'll see you guys.
Yeah, oh, my internet. Oh, sorry, gotta go. But
yeah, there was.
Hold on. Oh yeah, make sure you get that part in though.
Yeah, that was critical. There was I had one problem with one thing Eli said about they usually have one game like this every year and it's good to get out of the way early, which they do. The Packers, they have that one clunker every year. Last year was the one in Tampa Bay. The year before that it was in you could argue it was either in LA against the Chargers.
Championship game.
Well, there was that one too, but I mean, you could argue in the regular season, it was either against LA or it was against San Francisco on the road. This is pretty much the same team from last year. And probably, I don't know the logistics of it, but I mean, it might even be the same team from the year before that for the most part. There shouldn't, I can't wrap my head around excusing that kind of performance and the low energy. If anything, you should have all goddamn kinds of energy going into week 1. Are you kidding me? You should be hyped out of your fucking mind. It's a season opener, and you're coming off of 2 back-to-back NFC Championship games, and you're talking about low energy. I mean, you have your MVP quarterback back in the fold. You have Devontae Adams there. It's pretty much the same offense that spearheaded all the freaking every ranking imaginable last year, and they're coming out with low energy, or they were too full of themselves. Why the hell are they too full of themselves to begin with? What have they done? What have they accomplished since Matt LaFleur got there? And I know normally I'm the glass half full over the glass half empty type of deal, but I mean, that's great. 26-6 over his first 2 seasons in the regular season, and then they haven't been able to get over that hump. So what the hell are they feeling themselves for? What are they so just cocky about? Like, I don't get it. I know national media, the pundits and everything, they crowned pretty much the Packers as the season started just because they got Aaron Rodgers back. Like, oh, it's going to be the same cast as last year. They'll finally get over that hump and be Super Bowl champions and this and that. I mean, they still have to put this shit to the field. And I can hear you laughing, but I can't see you.
I know. I'm like, I forget that you can't see my facial expressions or anything like that, but I'm listening. I'm nodding. I'm agreeing.
Okay, good. Don't fall asleep on me.
I won't.
I just can't imagine why they would possibly be feeling themselves because they haven't done anything. And that's on top of the fact that they have this low energy that apparently, I mean, low energy doesn't get you away from the running game. Low energy doesn't, I mean, I get he got hit in the nuts a couple times, but I mean, low energy doesn't lead you to throw that terrible interception. I mean, he was off platform and everything, but those are throws that we've seen Aaron Rodgers make consistently throughout his career, off platform. I mean, that's how he's made his money. But it was just a very uncharacteristic day, not just from like the whole team, not just from Aaron Rodgers, but like, I mean, if anybody wants to talk about low energy, I mean, like, that's one thing, but they just played bad. And Aaron Rodgers is responsible for a lot of that.
Yeah, and it's hard like to understand how you can have such low energy when fans traveled so well when they weren't supposed to, and you had the fans behind you and you could hear them through the TV screen. So there were opportunities to kind of get that secondhand energy, and it just seemed like nobody wanted to step up and be that guy. Granted, we don't know what happens in the huddles, in the locker room, so we don't know what kind of conversations are being had or kind of who's maybe stepping up, but you have to hope somebody's stepping up. But we didn't see anything on the sideline, nobody getting excited. The defensive guys, they talk about how Joe Barry brings the energy every day. Well, where was it? We just didn't see anything. They came out. Well, I missed almost the whole first quarter because I'm in Minnesota and the Vikings took their sweet ass time losing that game. So I missed most of it. But for me, it looked like they came out flat. It looked like they had a few couple, plays, the 4-and-1 and being able to execute on that. So I missed some of those things, but yeah, it just seemed like a steady, like the energy didn't get worse the worse they did. It wasn't like a decline. It just kind of felt the same the entire game. And I think that is a huge problem. You get the opportunity to go into the half. You're only down, 17-3. You get to get the ball. So you could make it a game if you come out, and they just never turn it around. And nobody really stepped up, and everybody seemed frustrated. And even the little things when you're trying to kind of get those sparks, whether it's on the field or off the field, Zadarius coming in, making a great play, Savage being able to capitalize on it, and then it being taken away. The little things weren't going well. So yeah, it's just, in those situations, somebody has to step up and be able to provide energy or some kind of positive motivation or something, because you have 7 captains. So at least one of them should be able to do that. Or, these young guys can't be afraid. If they don't see anything happening, like, somebody's got to step up. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's a practice squad guy on the sideline. Like, somebody's got to do something, because in those situations, when everybody gets on that same slump page, nothing good can come out of it. And, it was fun to kind of see the backups come in and play better than the starters, because they kind of had more incentive and more motivation to come in and play. And again, things weren't working out for them either. But yeah, it was just a really disappointing, flat game, especially after everything that we endured in that offseason. Really wanted to come out and just watch some high quality Packers football. And, with everything through the offseason, kind of the mentality and how everything seemed so positive and everyone was having fun and life seemed so good. And then that happens. It just seems like a whole different team came out than what we have been seeing for these last few months. So I'm really hoping that this is just one of those fluke days where just absolutely nothing was going right. And I mean, to some degree, yeah, some of it you can control, some of it you can't, but control the things you can control. And one of those things is kind of your attitude on the sideline or in the game, or just kind of who you are as a character player. So those things obviously can be fixed. You don't need to play well to have that kind of positive energy. And I think that's something that hopefully they touch on a lot. And, you know, if you have to practice it in practice too, if you make a mistake in practice and you have to learn how to pick each other up, do it. Do what you got to do to figure out these mistakes, because I don't want to see these things happening later down the road. You know, yeah, first game back, you know, that's the only reason that I would even somewhat let this slide. But going forward, we can't have that. There's too many veterans, too many leaders on this team. It's inexcusable.
I like that you mentioned the leaders too, because yeah, they have 7 captains this year. I mean, they had 3 last year, and then guys rotating on a weekly basis, and the year before that. Where the hell were those guys? You had 7 captains, and then you have 27 guys that were apparently worthy of that honor.
Mm-hmm.
Where was that?
Where was one
Sunday?
of those 27?
Yeah, I mean, that's like over half of the roster. That's over half of the goddamn active roster. So I mean, that's not like that's not asking too much. It's not asking for us to bend heaven and hell or something. But those guys were nowhere to be found, and I feel like, you know, and like you said too, I mean, we don't know what goes on in the locker room. We don't know who was hyping who up. We're not part of the whole internal operation. You know, and we don't know what goes on with that team. But on the field, what we saw, that was not the result of a team that has 27 apparent captains. You know,
Mm-hmm.
How they respond from this game, because I mean, it is what it is. They played like shit. They got smacked around by an inferior football team. It happens sometimes. And I said this going into the game, the Friday before the game. Every matchup on paper favored the Packers. Literally every matchup across the board, it favored the Packers. But putting that onto the field, putting that into action is a totally different story, because it could be an entirely different ball game from on the field from the one that's on paper. So how they respond to this going into a primetime game against the Lions, then you go into a primetime game against the 49ers. They have this national stage for the next 2 weeks going into October, and all eyes are going to be on them, because everybody they're preying on the Packers' downfall right now. Everybody's hell-bent on seeing Aaron Rodgers, the guy who pretty much held the organization captive for the entire offseason. They want to see him fail. They want to see everything just spontaneously combust within 1265 Lombardi Avenue. And, it's now up to those leaders. It's up to the coaching staff to not let that happen, to rebound from this. Prove that it was just... You brush it off as like a low energy. It was just a clunker. It was whatever the hell you want to call it. They were feeling themselves, whatever. Brush it off, move forward.
They have that little glimmer because Tampa Bay also fell to the Saints this way last year. So there's like that little bit of, okay, well, a good team can still be good despite a bad week, but it's a matter of picking themselves up and being able to go be a good team after something like this.
And in regards to that 38-3 loss last year that the Buccaneers suffered to the Saints, Aaron Rodgers said today on the Pat McAfee show that he didn't read too much into it. People were texting him about it, and he said it was making chicken salad out of chicken shit. So that was.
I've never heard that one, but I like it.
Yeah. I'm gonna add that to my repertoire. One team did win this week, Jen.
Oh, good. At least one team won.
Yeah, one team. It wasn't the Packers. However, it was Team Dr. LaFleur good in Open Book Fantasy. Oh my God. I beat Jen so badly that she did not know what to do with herself. It's 21-point victory.
I was
How
talking.
do you let that happen?
Okay, first of all, I have Aaron Rodgers, who got me 1 point. So, I was talking. I was talking so much smack. Amari Cooper starts off the week for me with 32 points, and I'm having fun with it. That's kind of my strategy with fantasy football. I talk a lot of smack, and then my team fails me, and then I take last. It works every time.
That's why. That's why you have a toilet seat. That's why you have a toilet seat.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Which I'm
it was really unfortunate. I'm assuming is behind you.
Yes, I'm pointing at it for those who can actually see my screen. Yeah, that was truly embarrassing. It could have been worse too if you played Tom Brady. It could have been a bigger defeat. Similar to the Packers, not going to overreact, not going to read too much into it. Fluke week, I'll be back. Shut up. Without my quarterback, I basically didn't have a quarterback. I still didn't have the worst team this week. I'm just letting everyone know that.
Who did have it was Mark, wasn't it?
I think it was Mark.
Oh man, that's worse than Jen in the dark.
I did I had some guys step up, luckily, to kind of keep it interesting, but yeah, really unfortunate. If Aaron Rodgers would have played like Aaron Rodgers, I'd be 1-0 and you'd be 0-1 and life would be so much better.
Not necessarily. I mean, okay, I could say the same thing. If I started Tom Brady over Josh Allen, I would have built my gap even more.
Ifs and buts.
Exactly. God, did you
just trying to make myself feel a little bit better?
I'm actually curious. Did you set your lineup with a blindfold on, or?
My team isn't even that bad. What are you talking about? And luckily, Raiders went into overtime. Raiders went to overtime. I was like, maybe. But no, not enough. No. I needed 57 points, I think, going into the Monday night game. Yeah, OBJ, I had to take him out spontaneously because my entire bench was playing and all of a sudden he was ruled out. So I was scrambling. I think it's Edwards from Vegas that I picked up. We actually did really well. He'll probably stay in my lineup. So yeah, it was a pretty good scramble from me. I'd like to give myself some props there. Because at first I was like, well, I'm projected to beat Zach by 30. Maybe I just leave him in. And that would have been a little too cocky. I would have looked a lot worse on my end. But
I was in a very similar situation in my other league with OBJ. I saw that he was inactive or he was ruled out. And I had to figure out who to put in. So I was like, and you'll like this too. I was like, MVS or Hollywood Brown for my bench. I was thinking, no, you know what? The Saints are down a couple corners. They don't have Bradley Roby. Desmond Trufant is still fresh. And Marshawn Lattimore, I mean, he's playing through an injury clearly. This should be a big MVS game. He should go off against this secondary. And he got me 9 points, which I think, is not bad.
That's still impressive considering how that game went. Because I think Tunyon got me maybe 1.
Yeah, I know.
Rodgers got me 1. My defense got me -4. It is what it is. So for you to get 9 points out of anybody on this Packers team, props to you.
I think it was 9 points. But yeah, Rodgers got 1.32 points.
Yep.
And I know that because in my other league he is my quarterback. So I feel your pain. I can I can empathize with you.
To some degree, you understand. So yes, Zach, I'll kind of just blow through our open book fantasy league here. So those who want to keep track of it, Zach unfortunately beat me 137.1 to 115.92. Yes, very unfortunate. Nobody wants to see you win. Eli beat Jamie 144.82 to 118.66. Looks like Mike, Eli's brother, he beat Andrew, our producer, 124.6 to 113.68. Tom Crabtree, he won his first game over Lambeau LeBeau in the chat here, 135.54 to 102.16. So Lambeau LeBeau beat you. Yeah, so enjoy that. And then Cole beat Mark 99.3 to 94.68. So see, I didn't even have the worst team. Props to me.
You didn't have the worst team, but you fielded the worst team, I would say.
Did I though? Aaron Rodgers will come back and I'll start putting up big numbers. It'll all be back to normal. It'll be fine. 115.92 without a quarterback. Not bad.
OBJ will go back to 2015 OBJ, and I'll blow everybody out of the water in my other league. This is all hypotheticals at this point. But, and just for the record, Andrew, in case you are telling me to roll advertisements, I can't see the private chat because my internet is so bad that the private chat is not even available right now on this hotspot.
So I should probably ad read something quickly.
I'm assuming Andrew wants me to advertise the Freezer podcast, either the Freezer podcast or the meetup this weekend.
Lombardi's Bar. Lombardi's Bar is after us now.
Right. Okay, yeah, you're right. All right, then I'm assuming that needs to be advertised.
So yes, I think we're gonna have Andrew roll that right now. I feel like I'm the messenger here, the middleman. So yeah,
You're the carrier pigeon.
we'll take a pause right here, and Andrew's gonna run the Lombardi's Bar ad for us.
What's up, everybody? It's your Lombardi's Bar Boys here to let you know you can watch us right here on Game On Wisconsin's YouTube channel every Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central.
Man, it looked hot in Jack.
Okay, I'm assuming it is.
Anyways, that's why I'm saying that they should have been drinking tapioca pudding on the sideline instead of Gatorade. You got to follow the science, guys. That's where it's at.
I really hope all that made it through. If it didn't, you can catch more of that crap right here on Game On Wisconsin and Lombardi's Bar every Wednesday night.
Okay, Zach, we're back. I don't know if you
Okay.
I don't know if you knew that or not.
I didn't. Like, the advertisement didn't play for me. I was after you told Andrew to roll it, I sat here for like
I know, I could hear you again.
Oh, okay. I was like, hello.
And you're like,
the roll.
oh, I'm not muted.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Yep.
This is
So
Hey, this is a
26 minutes
disaster.
in, and
Yeah.
I
but-
mean, you're still here. You're
Yeah,
still
yeah,
here.
exactly.
And that's
Yeah.
a win, because it could be a lot worse. So we obviously talked about a lot of negatives, though. Okay, so Parker says Zach should be the spokesman for the freezer pod, considering how much he freezes up. LMFAO. Ha ha ha. Internet jokes rolling in. You haven't had internet jokes here for a while, but this one's
I
bad.
haven't.
This one's not on you. This is a city issue. So we'll cut you a little bit of slack with that.
Thank you very
But
much.
obviously, we didn't even really talk about how the Packers played, and we spent about 20 minutes negatively talking about them. So I guess maybe we should say something positive, because there were actually some positive takeaways. So I just wanted to kind of ask, what are the kind of your initial, we'll kind of go back to the glass half full talk here. Some things that you saw that you were really impressed with despite the score and everything else.
Well, when you take into account the fact that they went into this game against a pretty good defensive front with two rookie linemen, with Josh Myers and Royce Newman, upon the initial viewing of the game, I thought it was rough, because you saw Aaron Rodgers making all these just uncharacteristic throws and these plays, and it seemed like he was under pressure for a lot of the game. But rewatching it and rewatching it again, this offensive line actually held up really well, and Elton Jenkins looked unmovable at left tackle. So they're going to have a really complicated decision to make when David Bakhtiari comes back. I mean, do you push Elton Jenkins back inside the interior, or do you bump him out to right tackle and move Billy Turner into at right guard, where he played all of 2019 for the Packers? So this offensive line is going to reshape a lot once those 6 weeks pass up and David Bakhtiari comes back. But this offensive line overall, they held up so well, and that's why it's just so weird seeing Aaron Rodgers the way he played. I mean, I thought that he was just under pressure for a lot of the game. That impacted the way he played, the way he approached some of these throws. But no, I mean, he was 4 of 15 when he had more than 2.5 seconds to throw. So
yeah, I think that was realistically the problem, is that it wasn't necessarily that the pocket was collapsing or anything. It was just he couldn't find anything, so he was just holding on for it so long, and the offensive linemen can't hold these guys for 10 seconds. It's just it's unrealistic.
That's a testament, and you can also say the same thing, on defense for the Packers. They were not getting home, they were not getting pressure, and you can't expect some of this, the guys in the secondary to cover for that long. There was one play in particular, I can't remember what quarter it was, but Jameis Winston?
It's Jameis. You've already steered into the skid, so we're just gonna roll with it.
Yep. He had all day to throw in the pocket. Nobody was getting home. Kingsley Keke was getting manhandled by this guy who spent the first 3 seasons on the Saints practice squad. Garrett Griffin, I think is his name. And somehow he couldn't find anybody open downfield, and he had to throw it away. But you can't expect the guys in the secondary to cover for that long. They need to be able to generate pressure. So with that being said, I was very impressed with Eric Stokes' 8 snaps.
Yep.
Pro Football Focus had him at playing 2 snaps in coverage, and he was targeted once, and that was a pass breakup on Adam Troutman that forced a Saints punt, one of the rare times that day. It actually might have been the only time, now that I think about it. But yeah, I was impressed with Eric Stokes and that offensive line. Those are really the two big takeaways. And we saw flashes of that greatness that Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams have shown throughout their careers together on that one play going into the half. That ridiculous throw that looked like it curved.
It reminded me a lot of that play against the Eagles, where it's like you don't know how that ball gets into Adams' hands, but
between the two defenders and the left corner of the end zone. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It was ridiculous. Yeah, and Adams, he had the late hands and he came down with it. It was just a beautiful, beautiful play. But yeah, those are really the biggest positives, I think, for me.
I mean, it's always fun seeing Mercedes Lewis absolutely go uncovered too for 10 yards. I mean, that I'm surprised that you didn't mention that. That's your guy, but seeing him just get absolutely wide open like that. I mean, the DBs didn't really know what they were doing. He kind of just popped out of the middle of everything and ended up on the sideline. And he's not super fast. It reminds me of kind of watching guys like Peyton Manning run, but he's big, so it takes a lot to bring him down. And when he can get, I'm just saying, I mean, it's not a bad thing to not be fast when you're a bulldog like that and it takes 5 guys to bring you down. But I think if we can get him more involved in those ways, it'll help a lot too. You know, he's kind of one of those guys that people sometimes forget about, and we see him get wide open a lot because of it. So some guys they shadow off of him, which leads to big opportunities. So it's fun to see him get those flashes. AJ Dillon, it felt like he got more than 4 carries because, you know, they were standing out so much to me. The rushes he did have, I was really impressed by, and it's really unfortunate that they only ran the ball 15 times. I think AJ Dillon should have carried the ball many more times, but I think I've seen kind of just watching the 49ers Lions game, I think that if this offensive line can create some holes for him, it's going to be a fun game for the run game at least. So hopefully the little spurts that I did see from the run game, they were really fun, but I wish I would have seen more of it. 15 carries, not great. So I think you kind of touched on that either on Twitter or someplace, but those little flashes were fun. You know, AJ Dillon, the RB2 this year. So it'll be kind of fun to see him kind of develop more into that role. And it was really good to see that flash right there. And thankfully, Mason Crosby's still Mason Crosby, so we didn't get shut out. That's always a positive to have him on our team. Parker, Mason Crosby's consistency, always agree with that. And unfortunately, we have to talk positively about the punter. You don't really want to have to say positive things because you don't want to see your punter too much, but it was nice to see him go out there and in a game like this where nothing's going right, at least having somebody who can flip the field for you is really important. So I thought that was fun to see. Hopefully we don't have to see him too much down the road, but it's the little things, you know. And Eric Stokes, he was something I thought he was a really positive guy. That breakup, I think that was a huge flash of what we could see from him. And I hope we see a lot more of him, you know, depending on the whole Kevin King thing, which not going to get into that because I don't think it needs to be said. But yeah, there's, even in these dark times of whatever that game was, there's still things to positively take away. Elton Jenkins on the offensive line. I mean, you can plug him in anywhere on this team in any position, and I bet he'd be the best there. So, I mean, 2 tackles, unfortunately, you hate to see it from your left tackle, you know, making those defensive stops, but it is what it is. So I think wasn't that his highest PFF grade on the line, and he had never played left tackle? Am I putting that sentence together right?
It might have been. I don't put a ton of stock in the grades, so I don't look at them.
No, I don't either. So it felt like it was important to say.
Yeah, no, I can't confirm whether or not, but
right. Either way, for him to never play that role and to be graded so high, it's impressive. And obviously, I have to be very thankful we have someone like that on our team. And whoever is in charge of finding offensive linemen, keep them around forever, because we're lucky to really never have that problem. You watch some of these games over the weekend. There was a lot of ugly football that I watched, but having a good offensive line is something that I'm super thankful for no matter what's going on.
Yeah, and I mean, I said the other day, that it was yesterday actually, Elton Jenkins might actually be the most valuable guy on this roster, which on a roster with, you know, Jair Alexander and Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, I mean, that's
You might be muted, Zach.
Hello?
Yeah, you just randomly muted in the middle of your sentence.
That was really weird. I got a notification saying the host has muted your mic. Andrew, you messing with me? I'll kill you.
Oh my god. Yeah, I was like, what's happening? I didn't want to lose you, but so you were saying something like having guys like Jair Alexander and
I don't know what I was saying, Jen. I'm
basically
so
Elton
goddamn done.
Jenkins through week 1 is the MVP of this team, which is impressive when you have actual MVPs.
Correct. And I also wanted to get back to the running game because that is something
Okay,
that
before you say that, Andrew in the comments, he's like, that was probably from 15 minutes ago that he muted you and it just now went through.
I think I was gonna say that. I think that's what it is, because when the intro or whatever plays, then or an ad, then I get muted. So I think that's what, like right now I'm seeing comments from 627 pop up like that. Good to see Jen's sponsorship deal with Carhartt renewed.
Oh yeah, I'm wearing a Carhartt hat, by the way.
I figured.
You and I are actually matching beanies tonight, and you can't even see it.
This is not Carhartt.
No, I mean like just beanies, not Carhartt. Mine's obviously better, but I'm just saying. Okay,
well, you don't need to lie to people, but yeah, that comment from Lambo LeBeau is the last one on my screen right now. So, and that was 30 minutes ago.
30 minutes ago. Yeah. You're on delay a little bit here.
Yeah, I'm being tortured. But as I was going to say about the running game, there were only 5 games in Aaron Rodgers. Oh my God, I can see you. I can see you.
Oh my gosh. What's up?
You're frozen. So never mind.
Well, you're frozen for me, so.
Wait, am I really?
Well, not anymore. Am I still frozen?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. I hope it's at least a nice screen cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
There's only been 5 times where the Packers as a team have rushed for less than 45 yards in a game since Aaron Rodgers became the starter. Because 2008 at Tampa Bay, the 2012 season opener against San Francisco, 2016 at home against the Vikings, 2019 on the road against the Chargers, and Sunday. 5 times that they have rushed for under 45 yards as a team. All the running backs, Aaron Rodgers rushing yards combined, everything. So that really tells you kind of everything that you need to know. And then there's the stat that I found out. I mean, in 7 of Matt LaFleur's 9 losses as the Packers coach, Aaron Rodgers has attempted 35 or more passes. So there's a clear, I don't want to say tendency, but it's like, I mean, you see the catalyst behind why some of these games happen the way they do. They can't get the running game going, or they stray away from it too early, which they did against the Saints. Like, I get when you're down 24-3, you're not going to run the ball, to try and get back into the game. I mean, no shit. But they got away from it early on. It was before the game got out of hand. They started, getting Aaron Rodgers to play hero ball pretty much. And that's the theme in a lot of these games as well. Those 7 games that he attempted 35 or more passes, they're trying to climb back into the game, and it's just this whole offense. And I've talked about this before. We've all talked about this before. It stems from the running game. It stems from being able to, approach the, offensively with these looks that, you're able to do all kinds of different things out of. It's what was the illusion of complexity, whatever the hell Matt LaFleur called it. Mm-hmm. You run out of these formations and then you keep the defense guessing. Are you going to keep running? Are you going to keep having success running the ball? Or is it going to turn into a play action? Are you going to have something downfield? There's, so many different quirks with these formations that they're able to, do so many fun things with, and so many things that they did last year that led to them being the number 1 offense in the league. And you didn't see any of that on Sunday. You didn't see the run game have its impact on the game. You didn't see, there was emotion, but I mean, I don't know, man. I think a lot of it was just Aaron Rodgers being skittish. He wasn't trusting really the guys in front of him. He wasn't trusting his receivers to win downfield, and he was just very inaccurate. I feel like a couple throws to Alan Lazard early on that was out of his reach.
Yeah.
Some
of those plays I felt like maybe he was throwing it that way to try and draw a flag. Like there was a couple to Devontae where maybe I thought he threw it because he saw something and then was trying to draw a flag or something. But I mean, you can't rely on penalties to win you the game. So even if that's so, it just felt like one of those games where nothing went right for the Packers and everything went right for the Saints. And mean, Jameis Winston obviously had something to prove. He comes out looking hot and just, yeah. I don't even know what the Lions, or not the Lions, what the Saints did right, because I was so focused on just the abysmal nonsense that was happening with the Packers.
If you let Jameis Winston drop 5 touchdowns on your head like that, then I mean, you need to. You need
and
help.
Also not being able to contain Kamara on the edge. Whenever he got outside, it was over, and that was frustrating too, because he did that last year. And
when I did a live show with Rob Westerman, who runs the GBP Daily account on Twitter, on Saturday morning, and I said it's going to come down to Rashawn Gary and Preston Smith setting those edges against Alvin Kamara, because he turns the corner on those edges and he's gone. Okay, so that's where he's best. It's not running between the guards or anything like that. He is the best when he gets outside towards the perimeter and he's able to take off upfield, because he turns that corner on a freaking dime. So it was going to come down to Rashawn Gary and Preston Smith, whoever the hell they have out there, Chauncey Rivers, Jonathan Garvin. They need to set those edges, and they didn't do that. You know, the pass rush was non-existent. The run defense was non-existent. They have a lot to clean up, and I don't know if the defensive line specifically that they have right now, I don't know if that's going to be enough to do it. They need to figure out what the hell it is Tyler Lancaster does there for this team. They need to figure out what he does. And if it doesn't meet their standards, they need to give Jack Heflin a chance. There's a reason he made this roster. There's a reason he's here.
Yep.
Okay, so he needs to get his snaps. I'm not as upset about Dean Lowry. You know, I mean, at least he has the draft pedigree behind him. But I mean, they got to figure themselves out.
Yeah, and especially you're still going.
Preferably starting with this Lions game, which we have yet to truly touch on.
That little bit of delay, I thought you were done.
I mean, that was pretty. No, I'm just stupid.
You're fine.
We have to talk about this Lions game.
I was gonna say, I was trying to transition.
3-4 minutes that we have here.
I was trying to transition into it, kind of talking about that run. And see, now you're like 3 seconds behind, so I'm just gonna start talking. But no, kind of with that run game. I mean, obviously Jamal Williams, we kind of know how he is, but he had a huge game for the Lions against the 49ers, and DeAndre Swift was really explosive, like up the middle, on the edges, just all over the place. And I don't know if Raymond is a running back or if he's a receiver who was kind of playing in the backfield a little bit, but he was lighting things up. So their run game was really aggressive, and it was working. They were creating the blocks that they needed, and between that and really Hawkinson seemed to be the only offensive target for Goff. So I think that being able to contain the run game, and I mean, hopefully they kind of know how to stop Jamal, but Jamal also knows how to run against these guys. So it's kind of who's going to have the better advantage with playing their former teammate. Yeah, I think after watching some of those highlights, because the 49ers, they have a pretty good front seven. So to kind of see them explode the way that they did in that run game was a little intimidating, but I think that Packers have the tools to stop that run game. It's just a matter of, will they show up and do their job? Yeah, I mean, now I'll see how long it takes for you to hear the end of my sentence, and then you can kind of speak on it.
Did your sentence just end?
Yeah. Okay. So we're back.
Okay. All right. All right. Perfect. I feel like Jamal Williams, he's such a nice guy, so I'm sure he doesn't think this way. Like, you know,
it's not like a revenge game for him. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to go back to Lambeau trying to prove that, you know, they screwed up by letting me go. But in the back of his mind, I'm sure that is kind of fueling him a bit. He's happy to be back at Lambeau. You know, he wants to show that he wants to show to this team that he can be a starting running back, which I think he's fully capable. I think he's been capable of that for a long time, but he's had Aaron Jones next to him, so he's not superseding Aaron Jones. Yeah, as you mentioned, this run game is very good with Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift. That's two guys that can do a lot of different things. More so Swift. He's a Swiss Army knife that is going to do a lot of different things for the Lions.
He's very explosive too, which is terrifying.
Yeah, and against.
Oh no. Okay, so I guess I just lost Zach, so we'll see if Andrew, if you want to pop in or anything, if you have anything to say. Otherwise, we were about to wrap up the show anyway. Oh, look, you're back. Okay.
I just got a random screen that said something went wrong, and then it kicked me out.
I was like, am I gonna have to like wrap up the show here? Quickly calling in Andrew. So I don't even remember what you were talking about. I just kind of panicked for a second, deer in headlights.
I was talking about. Oh, now I see the comments. Wow, this is crazy. I feel like this is a whole new world now. I don't even remember what the hell I was talking about. The point is, the Packers, they're going to go up against a secondary that does not have Jeff Okudah now. And he'll probably even miss that January 9th meeting later this season because he's on IR. So I'm not getting too hyped over that because we saw what the Packers were able to do against the Saints secondary that was hurt. And Marshall Lattimore was dealing with an injury. We saw what they were able to do against them, and it wasn't much. Like, they didn't do shit. So,
yeah.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm terrified now. But yeah, it's an opportunity to make a statement in front of a nationwide audience, you know. And they've had all kinds of success against the Lions over the years. I think they're 11-1 at home against the Lions with Rodgers starting the game. So, yeah, it's a big opportunity. Sorry, I'm like mentally checked out now because I've just had it with this internet. So.
You're fine. I think one of the biggest things is if they can get pressure on Goff, that's going to be huge. They didn't really pressure Jameis the way that they should have, and Goff, when he was under pressure, he was making mistakes. So I think that's going to be a huge advantage point if they can do that. Covering Hawkinson, I think, is going to be important. He was really the biggest target that they had in the throwing game. Obviously, being able to stop the run game. Deebo Samuel had a fantastic game, so Devontae Adams should be able to burn those DBs because he's obviously a better receiver. So it's just the little things. If everybody can show up and do the little things, they should be able to beat this team. But can't really underestimate anybody at this point because if the Lions come out playing like they did in their 2-minute drill at the end, it could be a really interesting game. So there's a lot of different factors that go into it. But any last minute comments or anything before I ad read and then we head out of here?
Well, like you said, that Lions team we saw in the second half against the 49ers, that was a completely different football team than the one we saw in the first. They were getting smacked around and everyone was questioning Dan Campbell and this and that, but we saw why they like Dan Campbell so much, and we saw the attitude that he instills in this football team. They fought. They fought their way back. They scratched and clawed, no pun intended. Get it? Because they're lions. Get it? Because they're cats. Thank you. I'll be here all week if my internet lets me.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we saw the kind of mentality this team has now. So it's a different football team. They have Jared Goff at quarterback, and it's not the same Lions team that has been getting smacked around, you know, for years by the Packers. And especially when we don't really know what the hell the Packers are right now. It's still very early in the season. So yeah, let's get to that ad read so we can get out of here.
All right, so just kind of sit through my reading here. So this show is brought to you by Our Tech Ventures. The goal at Our Tech Ventures is to collaborate closely with founders throughout all the investment and fundraising stages, turning their vision into successful companies. Since 2020, Our Tech Ventures has helped turn great ideas into profitable businesses that make an impact on industries, communities, and beyond. So with that being said, hopefully next time you see us, we're talking about more positives, a better game. So with that being said, Zach, I guess my ad's going up first. So you can find me at BigMac_4. Zach, where can everyone find you?
I mean, come on, Jen. It's right there.
Well, sorry. You can find Zach at It's Zachariah
J. Yeah, there you go.
Make me do all the work. Sometimes it's nice to promote yourself. My bad.
No, it's not. It's never nice to promote yourself. I hate everything. Thank you, everybody, for watching Open Book. Thank you, Andrew, for engineering everything from backstage. Thank you, Jen, for sticking around through my bullshit internet. And everybody else, thank you as well for sticking around through my bullshit internet. And Eli, who is not here, but we do appreciate him checking in for those first few minutes of the show, doing what he can to join us. We will see you all next week, ideally under better circumstances than whatever the hell this was. It was a very, very off show, but we were able to get everything in. We were able to talk about football. We were able to break things down a little bit and talk about the Open Book Fantasy League. So I think it was a win. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We love you all, and have a good night and rest of your week.
what you think, Fred. All right.
Fred.
Like, dude, you're an idiot.
I don't know
doing
if it's
very
something or
well,
not.
Dennis.
We
It's
here.
just gonna be me and you, or Eli and Zach gonna pop in.
Yeah, they'll talk every once in a while, but
Every now and then we'll kind of
he was already right away.
It kind of, well, we're used to you attacking us, so.
Yeah. that is
Sorry.
Look at
Let's just put it this way. Who do you see as the quarterback week 1 for the Green Bay Packers?
I see